In this year's draft, the Browns hold pick 26 and have 9 picks overall. They have the ability to draft the best player available, which has often never been the case, and are not married to staying at pick 26. The team has the ammunition to move up, but also can afford to trade out of their pick if the value is right. Andrew Berry has done a great job building depth on this roster and allowed himself more flexibility in this year's draft. The signings of John Johnson III, Troy Hill, Jadeveon Clowney, Malik Jackson, and Takk McKinley has made the Browns defense very scary on paper. These signings make the draft a bit interesting as the team filled many holes on the roster and look to continue their upgrade on the roster. It is very difficult to accurately predict what their strategy will be in the draft because of the freedom they allow themselves and the lack of information. Many of the prospects elected to opt out of the following college football season. All these obstacles present many questions in this year's draft and will most likely lead to many surprises. In this segment, we will evaluate the top 5 prospects that will possibly be available at pick 26. First, Christian Barmore, D-tackle of Alabama. Barmore comes in at 6'3", 310 pounds. He would be an ideal pick for the Browns if they choose to draft for need. After the release of Sheldon Richardson, the position could use some depth. Barmore brings a presence that would force teams to double team him in both the run and pass game. The Alabama defensive tackle has a very good build that would be a recipe for success as a dual threat D-tackle. He is very explosive off the ball and plays with his pads low, allowing him to dominate matchups. Barmore flashes the ability to shoot through gaps and has a knack of getting his hands in the passing lane. Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech. Caleb Farley has been considered the best corner in this year's draft, but a career plagued by injuries may cause many teams to pass. Farley has also been considered the fastest player in this year's draft and is very athletic at his size. Many corners at 6'2", 210 pounds will struggle with footwork, but Farley's footwork and technique is premier. Farley is a ball hawk who would complement Denzel Ward, add more depth into the Browns' defensive backfield. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, Notre Dame, is a premier example of a hybrid that can play all over the field. Koramoah's versatility would allow Joe Woods to have a player that can play at safety, nickel, off-ball linebacker, and as a pass rusher. Ideally, he can take the Browns' defense to the next level with that ability. He is very athletic, who might be a little undersized but plays with the fire and will not back down from blockers. Koramoah has a lot of pop to his game and most definitely jumps off the tape as a hard hitter and a playmaker. Jason Oweh, edge rusher, Penn State. Oweh comes in at 6'5", 260 and is fairly new to football, but has many traits that has any scout at the edge of their seat. Oweh's strength and athleticism allows him to be a regular presence in the opponent's backfield. With good coaching and technique, Oweh could be a star in the NFL. Jalen Phillips, edge rusher, University of Miami. Phillips was rated as the best defensive end recruit in the country at one point. He started his collegiate career at UCLA but faced many injuries, then followed by transferring to the U in 2020, which led to him establishing himself as one of the pure best talents in the nation. He is explosive off the ball and plays with quick hands, which allows him to win many pass rush matchups. He is also a developmental player that could use a season of coaching to take his game to the next level. His health issues are a factor that may cause him to slide, but has a lot of upside. A surprise prospect that may slide is Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State. Parsons is probably the best linebacker prospect in the draft because he is a dual threat in both the running and passing game. Parsons is the ideal prospect who is great at blitzing and is very good on taking blocks. He might seem like a no-brainer top 10 pick, but off-field issues might cause him to fall on day one. If the Browns are presented the opportunity to draft Parsons, they should, because he can be a game changer in a position of need in a run-heavy division like the AFC North. I have reason to believe that the Browns will leave the first day of the draft with linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah because he will be a plug-in player for the Browns and can fill many roles on this defense with his versatility, making it hard for them to pass up.